Good afternoon, everyone. Let's delve into the world of ethnography. Malinowski revolutionized ethnography by introducing participant observation. He conducted extensive research in the Trobriand Islands of the South Pacific, immersed in the daily life of local communities. His magnum opus, The Argonauts of the Western Pacific, in 1922, is a landmark work that laid the foundation of modern ethnography. Franz Boas, as the father of American anthropology, was not for his holistic approach. He worked closely with indigenous communities in North America, applying participant observation to understand cultural. Ruth Benedict, a close disciple of Bose, contributed to cultural relativism, working closely with him. She advocated understanding cultural practice within their context. Margaret Mead, a contemporary of Benedict, is known for her pioneering anthropology studies. Her most prominent work, Adolescence in Samoa, in 1928, explored cultural variation in adolescence, and Clifford Greaves, in a more contemporary art, focused his attention on dance description, speaking, and deep interpretation of cultural meanings. The interpretation of cultures in 1973 is essential to understand his perspective on symbolic and hermeneutic anthropology.
Now, let's move on to see something that is important within the stages of action research. That is, of course, its stages. We start with the planning. Okay, here we have to follow four important points like choosing the topic and delimiting our points. After that, we could start reading related information that is within our reach, and after that, start collecting information to complete this stage. We will develop a research plan. This is the first step in the research. Next, we have the action stage. That is the collection and analysis of data, one of the most fundamental because it is at the center of all the research, and it is the most popular and common to development, and sometimes it's hard but is very successful. Next is development stage. It starts within an action plan with a different solution to inconveniences. And finally, we have the reflective stage. Here we communicate our results to the community interested in the conclusion and reflecting on our process. Thank you.
Characteristic of ethnography is characterized by trying to understand the individual's point of view and context. First, firework. This method involves of the collection of information over long periods of time without a defined time limitation and concludes when the object of study is understood and constructed through the data of time. Two, phenomenological character. It refers to the exploration of the meaning attributes by the native to our research topic. Two, basic formulation. It is investigated through a long empirical stage on the field, which is a particular laboratory. Eh, the object of the study is constructed through the vision of the native of the place. Third, a holistic and naturalist character. The naturalist approach in place to a collection of information in real context, avoiding a laboratory technique since the ethnographer spends time in the field and can control his presence. 4. It follows the inductive method and offers the dialect results. It is an inductive method and based mainly on the observation of facts in their natural environment. Um, 5. It is multifactor. Ethnography uses various research techniques to gather information. The main ones on being a participant observation and ethnography interviewed. Also, it is employed techniques such as document analysis, surveying, and social network. These are uh, frequently used. Thank you.
From a wider perspective, Bogdan and Bicklin in 1992 defined action research as a systematic collection of information that is designed to bring about social change. This kind of research is used in real situations, unclear situations, situations where flexibility is needed, and people who need to improve their research abilities. Kurt Lewin, a German American psychologist, is considered one of the fathers of action research, who said that it is not possible to separate the research from the action needed to solve a problem. Now, talking a little more about the characteristics of the action research, we can consider the following information. First, in the words of Borgia and Scholter 1996, the components of action research are the five C's. The first one, commitment, where everyone has to be there to do the research and put all the responsibility necessary for achieving the goals they plot. The collaboration, where it's always good to take into account the participation of everyone in the research, since it's something where all the people is putting their effort. The concert, like in all the things, it must exist the trust that everyone is going to do their parts like they have to do and showing their abilities. Consideration, like it requires reflective perspectives, consideration involves taking the time to reflect on the outcomes of actions, analyze data, and understand implication for future steps. And finally, change. For being better, we need to grow as persons and accept the others' changes, and also change your way to do the research. Maybe the tools, approaches, observations, etc.
Let's now talk about the advantages and disadvantages of ethnography as a qualitative research method according to Vara, Lupredi, and Lamichin in 2019. Among the advantages of ethnography, it stands out that it allows you to understand the attitudes of the members of a group and how they work to achieve their objectives. In addition, it allows us to show how cultural dimensions such as religion, politics, and education mutually influence a group. For example, immigrants illustrate how their experience and interest in another country influence their behavior. It also offers historical, social, and cultural context to understand behaviors and their impact on the perception and action of people in a group. For example, in a rural community, the scarcity of resources influences how they cope with poverty and lack of services. On the other hand, future questions and follow-up research allows us to explore identified behaviors and patterns, such as in a poor community, where research on education could point to the need for more resources and programs to improve quality of life. In regard to revealing some not obvious qualities of the group experience, they may be the importance of family ties and community in the life of a group. Finally, ethnography facilitates understanding of how behaviors emerge and evolve with the expansion of knowledge. For example, in today's society, the proliferation of social media has given rise to new behaviors and habits, such as constantly checking one's phone for updates. As for the disadvantage, it involves spending a lot of time with a group and observing their daily behaviors. For example, in indigenous community, in a remote area, it could take months or years of observation to understand the behaviors and patterns that develop in that environment. Additionally, a well-trained ethnographer is needed who has skills in observing, relating, collecting, and analyzing data. On the other hand, short-term ethnography research may not provide enough information to fully understand group behaviors and patterns. To gain a more information to fully understand group behaviors and patterns, to gain a more complete understanding, long-term research is required. Additionally, ethnography can be prone to bias due to researchers' preconceptions. To minimize this, it is advised that the ethnographer have in-depth knowledge of the subject of study and although it's based on observations and interviews to understand the behaviors on a graph. Lab of data can lead of assumptions and conclusions not supported by observation, while too much data can make processing difficult. In this case, techniques such as qualitative coding and content analysis are necessary to organize the information and extract meaningful patterns.
Okay, action research. Among the advantages of action research, we find that can be used in work or community environments to improve situations and thus provide the opportunity to use it. Um, Another advantage is that it allows us to increase learning with systematic reflection. Statements the research provide. In addition, by participating with the people involved, is more ethical and generates more security when presenting results. In addition, to advantage. We also have disadvantage in which we must be responsible not only for the research but also for the change that arise. Uh, Here there is a high workload, and another disadvantage is that will be judged superficially since some requirements are ignored. This cannot be used in all disciplines, and finally, it is really challenging to define the literature from the data that is collected.